The sirens have stopped. The grid is dark. You climb down the ladder, seal the heavy steel doors above you, and shut out the chaos. You look around your new underground shipping container bunker. You have neatly stacked canned food, filtered water, and battery-powered lights. In this quiet isolation, you feel like you've outsmarted the apocalypse. You haven't. The moment that hatch locked shut, a timer started. In moments of high-stakes panic, the human mind seeks a quick, static fix to an impossibly complex problem. We see a surplus steel box and project an image of an indestructible fortress onto it. This steel box is now a closed system. Every minute that passes, the simple laws of physics are working to transform this shelter into a subterranean tomb. Let's look at the first 72 hours. The immediate threat you face is the lethal fluid dynamics of your own breath. Humans are biological engines, constantly consuming oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide accumulates. It is heavier than breathable air, causing it to sink and pool along the floor of the bunker like invisible quicksand. Amateur builders often stick a simple PVC pipe up through the dirt, assuming it will naturally bring in fresh air. In reality, you need an active, powered ventilation system running 24/7 with low exhaust vents and high intake vents to combat the weight of those gases. Without them, that pooling carbon dioxide continuously displaces the breathable oxygen upward. At a 1% concentration of CO2, you feel drowsy. At 5%, you pass out. By the time it hits 8%, you are dead within the hour. If you try to solve your power issues by running a generator near or inside your setup, you introduce a much faster killer. Generators produce carbon monoxide. This gas binds to your blood's hemoglobin 200 times more effectively than oxygen, causing your cells to suffocate. At 1,600 parts per million, it takes exactly 15 minutes to die. The first critical failure occurs inside your own body. Without even knowing it, you are drowning in your own breath. If you survive the air, weeks 1 through 4 introduce a brutal thermodynamic clash. The Earth below the frost line maintains a constant cool temperature of about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, your body radiates heat and exhales warm water vapor. When that warm, moist air hits the freezing cold Corten steel walls of your buried container, it instantly condenses. Within days, you have created a perpetual indoor rainstorm. Humidity skyrockets past 80%. This wet, dark environment aggressively breeds Stachybotrys chartarum, toxic black mold. It colonizes your food supplies, ruins your clothing, and directly attacks your respiratory tract. You also face a chemical hazard. Overseas shipping containers have wooden floors heavily saturated with highly toxic fumigation chemicals used to repel rodents at sea. In an enclosed space, those chemicals off-gas directly into the stagnant air. Even if you keep the air breathable, the thermodynamics of the steel guarantee it will function as an incubator for biological plagues and chemical poisoning. Over the first 6 months, we see the ultimate mechanical failure. This historical image shows shipping containers stacked on a cargo ship. Their architectural strength relies almost entirely on bearing massive vertical weight directly down through their reinforced corner posts. Underground, the threat is horizontal. The corrugated Corten steel walls are only about 1.6 millimeters thick. They are designed to keep out wind and rain, meaning they possess virtually zero lateral strength. Saturated soil behaves like a heavy, slow-moving liquid, exerting massive lateral earth pressure. A single cubic yard of wet dirt weighs over 2,500 pounds. Pushing continuously against those weak side walls, the steel will inevitably bow, buckle, and cave in. If the earth doesn't crush you, it might spit you out. A buried, hollow room acts like a giant air bubble. When the ground becomes saturated during a storm, the upward force of hydrostatic buoyancy can violently lift a multi-ton bunker right out of the soil, snapping your intake pipes and collapsing your entrance. Burying a container is the ultimate violation of structural physics. It is a slow-motion implosion. Beyond the mechanical failures, stockpiling beans and bullets completely ignores the human mind. Trapped in a dark, noisy underground box, deprived of normal sensory input and a natural circadian rhythm, the brain begins to manufacture its own reality. Time distortion sets in, decision-making degrades, and anxiety spirals into severe paranoia. Tactically, a buried container is what military strategists call a fatal funnel. It relies on a single point of entry and exit. If an earthquake shifts the ground, or hostile individuals park a vehicle over your hatch, you are permanently entombed. You cannot fight your way out of a hole in the ground. If a static underground defense is absolutely necessary, you need something that looks like this: heavily reinforced, purpose-built concrete engineering featuring rounded walls designed to distribute soil pressure. You don't use repurposed transport boxes. A much more resilient strategy is the gray man theory. This is the art of blending into the crowd, concealing your preparedness, and maintaining mobility to navigate changing landscapes without becoming a fixed target. If you want to build a shelter, look to the Citadel concept. Build an above-ground, self-sustaining structure, like an off-grid greenhouse or a solar-powered workshop. It provides daily, practical value right now, meaning its systems are constantly tested and maintained in peacetime. Survival relies on adapting to your environment and respecting the uncompromising laws of physics. When the grid goes down, the Earth will not accommodate your illusions of safety.